I'm still waking up. Wow. Had a wonderful weekend. I just gave Sadie her souvenirs. So she's the only one in the family that I was excited to pick up souvenirs for. Hopefully, sorry. Yeah. Just happy tailing your back. There was an adorable little shop in the downtown area that was set up for pets. They had a cookie bar. They had a pastry window with some beautiful looking cookies. I think I would have sampled them. I picked her up some really long, it's rolled cod skin, dehydrated. I'm sure she's in there doing her best to rehydrate it on the living room carpet. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. They had some of the harder to find items. They're gross, but she really loves duck feet. They're dehydrated and gross looking, and she rehydrates them. So I picked her up a little variety pack so that I could give her something to give us some arthritic sound effects in the background. My dog was very happy to see me. My family was happy I was home, but not the overall grand, Mom's home from a weekend away. So I'm not sure how to remember to tell you every tiny bit of every moment of this grand weekend. I had a really good weekend. It was the kind of weekend where I had nothing to worry about. Everything was just floating along. Every event was joyous, exciting. Even the hotel was a grand adventure on its own. All right, maybe we'll do that part differently next time. Let's see. Where do I start? How do I even start this story? Well, let me introduce you to the characters. There's some characters in this story. Let's see. Well, how about in order in which I know these fine people? Oh, we have a group on Facebook. It's called California Fiber Meetup. And the intentions are, when we learn of someone that enjoys crocheting, knitting, macrame, someone that's just really into yarn, we'll invite them to join the group. And then periodically, whenever something's going on or we want to meet up, or either in smaller groups or like this, try to get everybody to come, we can post details on this Facebook group and we can meet up occasionally, right? If someone wants to travel the distance for a little just hi, it's a great place. If you're traveling through and you want to stop and get a coffee with a friend, reach out. Let's see if there's someone that lives close by. California is very long, so it does take many, many hours to go from top to bottom. So for this trip, spring of 2025, we chose San Luis Obispo. It is right in the middle, as close to the middle as possible, and there's a yarn shop. So we got a twofold bonus. We won't always meet necessarily where there's a yarn shop, because as you're moving around away from the coast, it's kind of hard to find. It worked. We are in the middle of a change between yarn on the Adobe in San Luis Obispo yarn shop and okay, another sip of coffee. A new shop taking over And the name of the shop is the Whimsical Wool Yarn Shop. Got myself a little tongue-tied on that one. What an encouraging, wonderful, lovely place to be. A little on that and a little bit later. I should tell you about my company. So in the order that I've met these new friends would be Sarah. I met Sarah first a few years ago. Made other videos. Hey, Sarah. Sarah is an incredibly supportive lady. She pops into all the lives with stimulating conversations. She's in everyone's comment box. She's like, sharing, and subscribing. She does have a channel where she's introduced us to many, many wonderful items that she's made or is working on, or yarn that she's found. She's walked these YouTube streets for many years. She's also an advanced crocheter. She's written a few patterns. And she's just a wonderful person to just, hey, let's do this. She's up for it. She's ready. She's ready to go. Please check out Sarah's channel. Her name is Sarah Nicol. The next friend that I met is probably the closest friend to living to me, which would be Theresa. Theresa lives in Sacramento, California. Oh, Sarah lives in LA, down south, about a 5-6 hour drive, depending on how fast she's driving. Theresa was my lovely chauffeur. Theresa's highly intelligent. She's an excellent conversationalist. She's a pattern designer. Theresa does both knit and crochet. Her channel is jam-packed, a fountain of knowledge for beginning knitting and crocheting up to advanced knitting and crocheting. There's tips and tricks we could all use. However long, she's just laying it out for us in a very conversational, open way to absorb the information. Theresa's a good time. Her channel has got a lot of stuff. Please visit Phoenix Gate Crafts. Tell Theresa I said hi. Let's see. And then there were 5 of us, not including me, and I've introduced you to 2. Theresa picked me up and early afternoon, and we got on the road. We stopped for a quick little bite to eat on the road, and we continued on the road, and we made it to San Luis Obispo, Denny's. And in the parking lot, as we were pulling in, I could see the van. I could see the van. I was so excited. And then instantly, as we were pulling up, I saw Paige. It is so fun to see with your own eyes, not through a lens, someone that you have gotten to know over the time that you found their channel or that you've discovered them. Paige is absolutely herself. She is herself. The person that she shares with us on her channel, the delightful smiles, the confidence and security that she carries with herself. Yes. Please visit Paige Loves Pumpkins. She represents herself very well. Paige is a free-loving spirit. She dances to the beat of her own drum. She has a fascinating lifestyle. Paige crochets. She's crafty, so it's not just she crochets. Paige is artsy. Go say hi to Paige. and then met Paige, and we all said hi's and hi's, and then I could see some beautiful long blonde hair. That's Jackie. Jackie. Beautiful hair. Jackie is a devoted mother, grandmother, and wife. Her channel is an excellent source for staying current with deals, with what's going on. Her hauls are marvelous. She's breaking it down. She's telling you what's in the fiber, what it would be good for, the hook size it recommends. Jackie's getting in there. She's definitely my go-to to make sure, hey, have you seen this anywhere cheaper? Is there a coupon or a deal or something? Jackie's your girl. Please visit Tiny Little Blessings to get to know Jackie. So then we were all at Denny's, happy and bubbly and excited to see each other. The young man sat us down. Nice little meal. We did some getting to know you questions that are always more fun in person than just, reading off a list and answering. It was interesting to do round robin and see the huge range in people's experiences and get people talking, and it was an excellent idea. Had dinner. Enjoyed the greeting in a smaller amount, not just committed to like a whole day of strangerness. And then we went our ways. We went our ways to discover our lodgings, and I think Jackie has an incredible little clip on her channel. They took off up the coast to go see a gorgeous sunset. Check out her channel. Paige found a cozy little spot to park and enjoy her evening. And Theresa and I head off to the room to start claiming whose bed is whose. We were still waiting for Sarah. She was coming in a little later. She needed to work on Friday. And she did. She arrived safely later in the evening. What did we do? So we got to the room. When we stopped, a few little piddly places along the way. I needed a gallon of milk for my coffee in the morning, and we got some little snackies and head back to the room. Sarah came later in the evening, and we sat up and we crocheted and talked a little bit, figuring out which lights were just enough to be relaxing and which lights lit up our projects. Fun evening. We were all pretty wiped out. It was a long day. Went to bed. In the morning, we got it all together, and it was a very, very short drive. I think less than 10 minutes down to where the yarn shop was. We chose an area to visit in San Luis Obispo that was very well organized. We had a parking garage, which I think for the whole day was like $8. We didn't have to worry about the car. The parking was nice and easy, parking garage. We didn't have to search around waiting for someone to pull out. From the parking garage, you walk down half a block and then down half a block, and there's the yarn shop. Across from the yarn shop, between here and there's little shops to go into and poke in. There's an alleyway that's filled with a plant shop. There's a palm theater with a very Asian theme to it. You walk past an old bank that's been converted into a souvenir shop for San Luis Obispo. So there's little things to take up time before you get to where you're trying to get to. The yarn shop, and then across the street from the yarn shop is the Mission. The Mission host church services, but they also do events. There's quite a few halls and buildings to the Mission, so they'll do parties, weddings, celebrations. They host quite a few of the community events, like if they're going to have voting or just excitement. just excitement. I think they do their town hall meetings in one of the buildings. The Boy Scouts meet there. Just a huge open spot to meet. They got an amazing garden area. And then they have this really long stretch of the creek that has been cleaned up, paved with walkways, and then it drops down into the creek, which is completely natural. And they do lots of conservation programs to make sure that that space stays wild. And by putting the walkways and proper fencing, it keeps people up out of the creek. When we got to the mission area, so then across from the mission area is about 4 or 5 really long blocks of shops, stores, thrift stores, name brand designers, small little coffee shops, little Italian restaurants, and pubs with cute names. One was called Frog and Pigs Pub. Just a fun shopping experience, fun. Some of the streets are very well shaded with tall trees. There's lots of benches everywhere for sitting and resting. A great place to spend some time. It'll absorb a day for sure. So we got to the parking garage. We walked past the front of the yarn shop. We were going to meet in the park. We got down to the park and we noticed that it was the Beaver Festival. Yeah, the Beaver Festival. Do I have a brochure? I took a picture. The annual Beaver Festival. It collects funds to help the environment, and it educates the community on not just beavers, but the little wildlife that live in the creeks and why they're important and an important part of our ecosystem. So it was exciting. There was live music playing. There were booths set up everywhere. I got this tables of tides for Morro Bay, which is excellent for my husband. He goes up and down the coast. Just very interesting. They have this booth was sponsoring dog walking. They're actually the group of individuals that put up the boxes filled with the disposable doggy bags. Please clean up after your dogs. Those boxes. Yeah. And then they maintain them too. It's not just let's put them up, but let's then clean the collection out. Tons of fun stuff. Lots of booths with things for sale, lots of just informational, lots of children's activities. We found down towards the end of it a little alcove that was set up like a miniature amphitheater with a beautiful backdrop, and we took pictures. I will insert some pictures here. Enjoy. Don't we look like a happy bunch of crocheters? There was a gentleman from one of the conservation groups, and I asked him if he could please take a couple pictures of us after I had set up my camera and tried to get some pictures. Yeah, that was the first time we were all just sitting together. Sarah was with us, so the fresh air, the live music going on, the sound of the stream, and just being out in nature. I had a really, really good time. I wish that could have lasted a lot longer, but we all had things going on and excitement for the day, and we hadn't even been to the yarn shop yet. We exchanged some gifts, just some little hello trinkets that we had put together. Paige had a handful of seashells, and I saw the purple one right away. Iridescent. Very curious. Popped it open with a little note. Dream. I love that one. How exciting. They all had just one words of just something joyful. And out of Paige's mystery bag, I got Dream. Paige put together these fun little notion bags for us and crocheted these amazing keychains. I think I've shared with you that my husband purchased me a Volkswagen Bug that's currently being restored. I really want to put the orange on the keys. I think that's just a little slice of fun. Thank you, Paige. She put together some notion pouches, little notebook for ideas or dream notes, a pair of incredible clips that are perfect for carrying around, emergency crochet hook. Okay, we all know I need to keep this at an arm's reach. I've come through a couple situations where I've had time on my hands. A dependable pen. Some extra long needles with nice big eyes for sewing in my ends on projects. Tape measure. Yes. Thank you, thank you. And this adorable stitch marker keeper. I love the sun and the moon. It doesn't get more clear than that. I should be using these night and day to keep track of my stitches. Ooh, even the little light bulb ones. Those are fun. I like the colors and the big plastic ones. Thank you, Paige. And of course, we need to keep our hands clean before we're touching our yarns. And some vanilla lotion. Ooh, it smells so good. My little pouch had vanilla. It does not taste the way it smells, but it smells amazing. Thank you, Paige. Actually, maybe this whole kit should go in my new glove compartment. That is just about everything I need in a crochet emergency. Maybe I could put a tiny little bonbon of yarn in there that'll match that hook in case I ever find myself sitting and need to keep myself entertained. Thank you, Paige. Let's see. And then Jackie, Jackie gave us all pumpkins. Isn't that the cutest thing? There's so much texture on these pumpkins. They have little vine curls and a cute little stem. Real wood. And she made these adorable little stitch markers. It says, handmade with love. So I attached it to the tendril. And she put it in this nice little bag so I can keep it clean. I think I'm going to put it up here in my yarn cabinet. I have more of earth tone yarns there, and I think the pumpkin will give a nice little pop. This is my bed. So when I wake up in the morning, I roll over and I look at all my nice fancy yarns. I think that would be a good place to have Jackie. One of Theresa's many, many, many talents is making soaps. She brought a tiny little heart that had another heart on the top of it. I don't know if it was formed all at one time or if it was attached on after, but she brought it to the hotel room because their soaps are meh. That little bar of soap with 3 women washing their hands constantly did not disintegrate or melt away. It stayed firm, and we were foaming and lathering in the warm water that we used to kill germs. It was incredible soap. I've mentioned before that I have a bar of soap that she sent me in a giveaway at one point on her channel, and I keep it in the top drawer of my personal drawer in my dresser. And every time I open the drawer, I just get this whiff of just clean, crisp delight. I haven't used the bar, but in using her little bar of soap that she bought to the hotel room, it didn't melt away at the end of the trip. It still had that other little heart on the top of it, and the sides were still perfectly formed. Incredible soap. I highly recommend ordering soap off of her Etsy. It's good stuff. She gave us a bar. Not to share, I brought mine home. She had a bag full of soaps, and she asked a couple of questions to see which ones that you would prefer. This one's called Scruffy Dude Soap by Phoenix Gate Crafts, and she lists the ingredients on these adorable labels. And look at that. It is so professional. This mold is just textured like a massage spa. My scruffy dude's gonna like that. I like it. I'm gonna put it in the shower and we're gonna use it because I have a bar to save, I have a bar to use, and then I'm gonna need to order more bars off of the internet. Thank you, Theresa. I can't even describe how it smells. It is a symphony of incredible smells. There's aloe, shea butter. In this particular bar, she has tons of other bars, and I'm sure she pays close attention to allergens and can direct you on one that would be best for you. What are the scents in here? I need my glasses. It's a musk. There is a bit of coffee in there. It smells amazing. You know what? Come on over to my house. We can smell it. We can drive up to Sacramento, pick up a couple bars. Thank you, Theresa. So after we had a visit at Creekside, we sat and crocheted a bit. You got to see the pictures of the smiling, happy people. We wandered over to the yarn shop. When Sarah and I went before, the yarn shop was packed full of yarn and books and pattern books, just wall to wall, tons of stuff. It was very quiet. We were the only ladies in there, and it was a weekend. When I approached the door, I could hear crochet terminology. I could hear instructions in a sweet, open voice. I could hear questions going back. I could hear feedback and conversations of yarn. I could see through the window. I could see all the colors, everything coming together. I was just getting so excited. Let me in. We were welcomed in. Paige explained who we were and what we were doing, and the lady was so excited. She just purchased the shop, so it had less fiber for the moment. It had a wide range. She had a huge variety in price. She had a variety in fibers. All the beautiful colors were there. She had tons of notions. My favorite part, she had 2 bowls, one with big buttons for $1 a piece, and one small bowl with a scoop, and it was only 10 cents a scoop. And you could design, pick and choose your own, what you wanted in your scoop. 10 cents a scoop for buttons? You're just feeding into my second addiction, lady. I love buttons. I had a great time digging through the buttons. She had these adorable little bags to put your buttons in. It's old-timey advertisement. Tailor-made suits. Here's plates, cheese graters. I don't know if they're real or not, but it is a fun bag to put buttons in. So I kept putting buttons in until it was not full. I didn't go that far with it. For $1 a button, I saw an amazing array that I could put together. I believe these are buffalo bone. I've seen these in other small shops and festivals. Just an adorable flower that would work as maybe if I make a cardigan or a shawl or something that just needs 2 buttons to attach. I was able to get 2, slightly different, still in likeliness. They're nice and light. They're big, so they'd work great for like just a centerpiece or catch an eye. I found this button. It looks like it's either made of shell or a bit of mother of pearl type. Let's do this. Can we see her? There we go. It's a lady, a young lady with long hair. Her shoulders turned towards us. You see a slight profile of her face. It looks like she has a little flower or a little something in her hand. Or it is her hand. But in my mind's eye, it's me! And I'm holding a chicken. See the little chicken? Not me. The chicken me. There we go. How fun is that? It's just a beautiful button. And I think that would work on a shawl or a something, or a cowl. Sometimes they do the cowls and they're not quite stitched together and you overlap it and put one button to hold it. Like a little capelet. I don't know, but I'm happy to have it. It was $1. It was like $1 fun find in there. No, Sadie, that's soap. Theresa soap is puppy approved. Let me take a moment and plug you in. You're kind of low on battery. I should offer you a cup of coffee. Also, I found these 4, I believe they're agate. I'm not current on my rock hounding identification, but I believe they're agate. Hey, Sadie. Yes, girl. You're a good girl. Go get you smell fishy. I know. We have these agate buttons. I have these agate buttons that I picked up. It just looked like a landscape to me, a sunset, just something beautiful. And because they're so natural, I think they would go with all the neutral tones. I was able to find 4. I was telling Jackie, when I find fun, beautiful buttons, I like to buy them in either one, and it's like the main piece, and then I can use some, you know, plain buttons if I need more with it, or just the statement piece. I like to buy them in 1. I'll buy them in 2, but I prefer not to buy them in 2. 4, 6, 8. So 4, 6, 8, depending on the size of the button, is usually your typical garment, how many buttons you're going to have going down a garment. These are larger, so 4 would definitely be a complete closure. Remember the wool that I bought the other day at the flea market? That Ella Ray plum wool? I don't know. The pattern that I currently have in mind that I think I want to make, that I made for my grandma before, has that wide neckline, and then it folds over. It goes out triangular and then it folds over, and that becomes the pockets. There are only 2 buttons on those pockets. We'll see. A girl can never have too many buttons and trinkets. I want to go back to the yarn shop and dig through more buttons. There's an allure to the hunt, to the treasure find. I also found, which I've never been able to find in person, I'm always ordering the tiny hooks from my thread, my micro crochet. I'm always ordering them online, and I'm paying for shipping and twice as much. She had 14. Another Chigu. And she had the smallest hook I've ever seen, 16. My micro hook set is complete. And it wasn't just buy a cheap set of hooks. These are quality hooks with no snarls or snags. They've got comfortable, these are the little flat bamboo handles. I think Clover Soft Touch does a similar style. My micro crochet hook set, my go-tos, I haven't crocheted with them yet, but I already know. I love them. Nice and light. I was adding those silicone beads to the end of the hooks to kind of help bulk it up a little. That fits comfortably. I need to assemble my thread, my classic 10, and put together a go-to kit. Thank you. Oh, these were $5 a piece. Wonderful. There were some display cabinets. There were quite a few pattern books, but they were more meant for in the shop until she like builds up her inventory for it. There's a beautiful fireplace, and she had a wall full of yarns that were hanging, some Hanks and some larger name brand nice fibers. Beyond the buttons, because I pushed myself all the way along the store, even though I wanted to linger and not move so quick. There was a little cabinet and it had linens and cottons and beautiful fibers. I had 2 yarns that I thought were the most beautiful lines that I just desire to work with. One was my Noro up here, which is taken me 2 years to find the perfect pattern, but that's a long-term, that's a slow project. That's evolving slow. The other yarn fibers that I have been fascinated with for a very, very long time, and I needed to wait until I felt secure enough in my stitchery and in my pattern finding abilities to work with. And it's slightly higher price than your big box store. It's an investment in an item that you will enjoy. And for me, that's garments. I've always wanted to work with Jupiter Moon. Always wanted to work with Jupiter Moon. This is beachy. This reminds me of our trip. The sunshine, the friends, it feels joyous. I bought 3. One of these has 284 yards to make myself safely make myself a garment that I won't need to worry about. It smells like the yarn shop. It's like a pleasant, flowery, herbal-y smell. Ooh, good pick, Amy. Plenty of yardage to do what I want to do. I'm thinking a summery tank top, something a little flowy, less constricting. It is a linen. It is a cotton. It's 60% cotton, 40% linen. It is a too fine. They suggest that I use an crochet hook or some knitting needles. I'm gonna crochet it, I think. I don't know, maybe I'll knit. We'll see. This lovely's gonna sit next to Noro, but hopefully for not as long as Noro, because the next time we all get together, I would love to have this garment to wear. This is called The Line. So Jupiter Moons is a farm, and the line is called Zoe Spray. The colorway, what is the color on this? Gold Coast. Oh, okay. I didn't notice that when I bought it, but yes, I see that. There were 3 other balls of more of just the turquoisey blue. Sarah Nicol bought those. Please visit her channel so she can show you what she found. Focus, Amy, focus. They were $22 a piece. Wasn't planning on purchasing any other yarn, and I was completely comfortable paying $22 a piece. I didn't realize when she rang me up for my glorious buttons and my wonderful hooks and my fantastic yarn, it only came up to about $50. And it didn't dawn on me. Here's my card, take my money, give me my fabulous finds. Well, and then when she rang up Sarah's, I was thinking, wow, Sarah, that's really low. Like, that's a good deal. You found some beautiful yarn. And I thought, Sarah, you bought the same thing as me. Wait a minute. When I was going through the store and I was adding up, and so I asked her, I said, did you charge me for all of them? And she said, yeah, I charged you for all of them. Those were 50% off. I immediately went back over to the wall to do a quick scan to see if there was anything else my heart desired. Oh, I thanked her profusely. Like, that's incredible. And I also thanked her for saving an asset. The previous owner was thinking of shutting down the shop. She was done. She was ready to move on with life and do some other things. And the current owner was a patron and decided that we need this. We, as a community, as a place to be, as a yarn shop that we don't want to lose. She is continuing, and I felt like I need to support that, and I need to go back. I need to go back. I want to sit in on the classes. I want to be there. I want to be a part. So the building that the shop is in is 100-plus-year-old building. And it was a home. You can tell it was a home. And in the front, when you walk in, there's like a long entryway, a mud space. And then she's off to the side, which would probably be a bedroom, but most likely a sitting room. Probably there's a fireplace and a stairwell that goes up. If you follow it all the way through, there's a tiny little, it looks like a closet-sized bathroom. There's a tiny closet-sized kitchen. Keep going. Keep
Hey, Paige. Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
going all the way back out the back door is an incredible garden. It is beautiful. Somebody has spent so many hours with the hanging pots and just the crafty decorations. They took miscellaneous kitchenware glass bowls and cups and have stacked it up on probably a metal piece of metal something, and have stacked it up on there so that it catches rainwater, or you could put bird seed in the parts that head out. Tons of beautiful flowers. They had artichokes growing back there. There was an avocado tree, a lemon tree. Of course, everyone needs a lemon tree. The hydrangeas were gorgeous and ready to pop and bloom. California poppies. I've been trying to get mine to super bloom, but this garden area was amazing. And they told us, you're welcome. Go on back, have a seat. They had a shade tent. The tablecloth was clean and welcoming. We sat and we had lunch. We went down to a little Italian place and grabbed salads and sandwiches and pizzas. And we sat and we ate, and we got to visit for quite a bit longer. Fortunately, Jackie had to go, but we will see her again soon. Her family was waiting for their next stage of adventure along the coast. It was little buddy's birthday, so they had some fun things planned for that. And we just sat there and relaxed. We had some yarn with us. I'd been working on 2 projects on the way down, and before Sarah arrived, I was working on that seaside sundress still. I'm hooking away on that skirt part. Today starts the week at 30% off Hobby Lobby, so I need to go back and get some more skeins, but I'm still working on this. Got it in a nice little Ziploc bag, and I'm chunking away at it. But when I'm with Sarah, I'm working on a cardigan I'll show you in just a little bit. So we sat and we crocheted and we had lunch and we talked about, life events, large things that have happened in California, and where were we? How old were we? Just amazing conversation. Just sit and get to know people. After that, Paige was heading to a little free library where we were all trying to make amigurumis to put in the little free libraries. Could not find my bee anywhere. I made a tiny little bee. I put my business card on it. I did the long length of note that said, Random Access Crochet Kindness, share on Instagram, tag me, all that. Had it all together. Could not find it anywhere. And I know when I was in the room that I put it in my purse, but maybe I didn't. I had so much fun and excitement. Maybe I overlooked it. When we got back to the room later in the evening, I found it in the zipper pouch of my purse. My intention was then later that night to leave it at the restaurant. We were going for dinner. Again, so excited to get out of the hotel room and go socialize and have fun, and forgot it. I ended up leaving it Sunday morning, right before we left San Luis Obispo. I left it at Breakfast Buzz Cafe. It worked out perfectly. I left it for someone to find. I hope it gives a smile to someone. I just fast forwarded to the end of our visit. No, go back. So Paige was off to the little free library with a couple of items to leave. And on her channel, she has put in some little video clips. Please visit Paige's channel to see the little free library that our friends have made amigurumi to drop off at. So we started wandering around San Luis Obispo, all the little shops, it's touristy, local people go, it's just downtown fun. One of the little shops we went into was called Junk Girls, which has an amazing message of surviving through stress and trauma. They have a crafting group. They have amazing items that were made, lots of spoon art, like those forks and spoons that they make jewelry or necklaces that's been stamped with very positive messages. They have a huge vintage section with vintage collectible cameras pieces. They had these little aluminum canisters for Kodak film that you could put stitch markers in. They also had a vintage magazine section spread throughout. I found some work baskets that will go into my Fiber Rewind series, the last Friday of every month. This one will be going into 60s, 68, 68 November, 69 April, August of 69. These will be going into the 60s. I may or may not pick some patterns out of these work baskets to make. Originally, these in the grocery store checkout, if you were a stay-at-home mom working out of a budget, were 25 cents. I need to let my Sadie girl out. We're working on those bells. She rang the bells, I opened the door. There you go. Go potty. The sliding glass door keeps out a lot of chicken scratch, huh? So originally they were 25 cents. Junk Girls had it on sale currently for $2.50, and I picked one of these stickers off, and their original price for these were $8. Thank you for having them for $2.50 when I showed up. I appreciate it. They had some larger pattern books for doilies, lots of doilies, and they were $18 a piece for the pattern books. I get the vintage aspect of it, and I understand a shop puts whatever price they want. I like finding a little bit better of a deal. That's okay. I hope somebody buys them and loves them and supports the store. We did that. We did lots of walking around. Sarah picked up some beautiful plants, and she picked up some items from Junk Girls too. Then I went across the street and they had a thrift store, and it was the largest. It was a warehouse full of thrift stores, all vintage. And it looked like almost that they went to yard sales or estate sales and picked up vintage clothes, washed it. They had an alternation station where they can alter it to fit you properly. It was huge, and it was filled full of the college students. So Cal Poly is a large university that's right there. Go get your chew or do something, sweetheart. It was just exciting. The music was loud. They were buzzing around. Tons of young folk everywhere dressing like my style. It was exciting. It was a fun place to be. So after that, what did we do? We left the downtown area. We went back to the hotel room to regroup. I believe after Paige went to the little free library, I think she started her journey home. But please check in with her channel. I'm not sure what adventures were from there to there. We went back to the hotel room, kind of like decompressed, cleaned up after a long day in the sunshine. I wore my glasses, protect my eyes. Brought this huge sun hat that I never wore. I think I just liked the way it looked carrying it on my suitcase. Did that. And then across the street was Benny's Pizza. We decided on a slightly earlier dinner. I took my crochet. Sarah took her crochet. I don't remember if Theresa did or not. We went over, took our time looking at the menu, leisure and lounged. They had big, comfortable booths. There was good music playing lightly in the background. We ate. We had a good time. Sarah and I sat a little longer. Theresa was looking forward to going back to the room and refreshing and cozying in for the evening, which is always fun to do. I think I was trying to make the weekend last just a little longer. We were already at the end of our first full day, Saturday, and I had so much fun. And I hadn't seen Sarah in so long. We sat and we chatted and we talked at about 8 o'clock. So I think we got there a little after 5. Maybe 6. Well, at 8 o'clock, a live band came in. So it was set up like family restaurant and it opened up into a bar area. A live band showed up and started playing music for us. I did have a couple beers. They had California Squeeze, which was a not so hoppy beer with a very nice citrusy taste. Had a couple of those. Made some progress on our couples project. Sarah and I are planning on twinsing to one of these social events someday soon. We picked this pattern a while ago. It's a ballerina cardigan. Found it on Ravelry. It is a paid for pattern. Don't want to share too much, but there are some incredible pictures. And I did print this one in color just because these pictures are incredible. If you can double crochet, if you can double crochet 2 together, if you can half double crochet, you can make this. It is 1 row at a time. There's wordage and then there's written pattern. Once you learn the key, it is the same stitches over and over again. You can do it. If you want to, you can do it. It is not difficult. The difficult part was finding what colors or what style or what buttons or what's your mind's eye on this crafty project. Let's see. But the world took care of me on that quite a while ago. I think I've shared the project, but let's share it again. Quite a while ago, I went to Goodwill and they had 2 large sealed packages from the factory. St. Tropez, T-R-O-P-E-Z, Tropez. I don't know. It's 100% cotton from the factory. They had 2 of them full. I think there was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there were 10 balls in each one. 10 balls for $3.99. This is made in Macedonia. Donia. Oh man, Macedonia. Yeah, I'm a mess. Plenty. And I had been storing it away. And when I saw this pattern, I thought, well, if I do it in a solid color, even if it's a darker solid color, if I wear something light through it, it's gonna pop all that design. This is how far I am. Oh, and then, I think when we were at Lambtown, I found this spool of enchanting mystical loveliness. Turquoise, pinks, purples into a blue. So I added that to the ribbing on the collar around the neck. And there's my design. I broke off for the arms. There's a design going down the side under the arm. I've got quite a bit of length at this point. It goes down above my natural waistline. And Sarah and I work on it when we're together. When we're not together, we have a section. We're doing it sectional. We have a section that we'll complete, and then whoever's done first will stop and pause, wait for the other person to get to that section, and then we'll move on together. We did that the whole way through the top part. now that we're on the bottom part, we each have a different length or an amount that we're working on. So we agreed on Saturday night, we had a little discussion, and we came to the point where I was going to work the last part of current ball and wait. When she gets to, she's doing some striping in hers. Please visit her channel to see where she's at in her project. When she gets to her striping and she's ready to change to the next color, which I think I might be working a little faster than her. We'll see. But we'll wait at that point together. And then we're going to do sleeve, sleeve. Because I want to make sure that I have enough. I'm thinking I'm only going to make the sleeve down to my elbow and then do the front loop, back loop ribbing across that elbow piece. Because if I make it go past my elbow, this part of my body moves a lot and it stretches those stitches. And because it's cotton, it doesn't have any nylon to bring itself back together. No elasticity in it. I think it would keep its shape better if I went above the elbow. And I'm in California. It's cotton. It's going to be an all year wear it to fancy events or when we visit with one another. I'm not using it for warmth. I'm using it for, ooh, I made this with my friend. So, we're going to work on the sleeve. We're going to work on the sleeve and then left sleeve, right sleeve or whatever. And then we'll continue on to the bottom part together. And my idea is I'm going to make it as long as the rest of the yarn that I have. I'm going to use it all up. I tend to have little bits of leftover from projects and I use it all up, whatever length. It may become a duster. It may keep my ankles warm, or it may be a little crop top, which I highly doubt. I'm already a little above my natural waistline. I don't think it's going to be a crop top. Yeah, so we got together and we discussed that a bit. I'm excited. It's a beautiful item and it's actually starting to come together and look like something. Did I show you my buttons? I found buttons for it. I was inspired by that little pastel-y strip that I'm putting in here. And then just the blue with that. I found unicorn buttons. I almost said Pegasus, but they don't have wings. How are we going to do this? Unicorn cameo buttons. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. I think if this becomes long, like a duster, like past my 20, standard my body, I like to make it from my armpit to the length that I prefer that's comfortable for me is 22 inches. If it makes it beyond the 22 inches, it should. I want to stop the buttons and then it'll be duster open. I think I have enough buttons. So we're making buttonholes on this side. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm working on the 7th. Did I have 7 or 8 buttons? I could do one solid button that's complementary. I could do every other button complementary, which I think 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. So if it needs 9, I can do 1 or 2 smaller, just blend in complementary. Bless you, Sadie. You got a sneeze attack? I could do 2 plain because I never really button all the way up to the neck. And honestly, I don't even know if I will be buttoning this, but it would be very easy to find 2 buttons or 1 mismatch and 1 mismatch at the bottom, or I could figure it out. I got enough of the statement buttons. We okay? Bless you. Yeah, I'm excited. So Sarah and I worked on this in public in a restaurant. What's wrong? You sneezing all over the place. Cover your mouth. She was outside. I watched her. She's over there rolling in the dirt. So we got that. And that was Saturday night. We went back to the hotel room. Teresa looked so cozy. She was listening to an audiobook. Oh, it was a perfect evening for all of us. Sometimes we just need a second after a long day to either regroup or spend the rest of our energy, right? We all crocheted a little bit, chit-chatted. Sunday morning, we had plans to get up, not too unnaturally early, but get up at leisure, kind of stretch, get our bearings together. What happened, baby? And then we went over to the Buzz Cafe. I left, what's going on, baby? Went over to the Buzz Cafe, had a really good breakfast. I had biscuits and gravy with a ham steak, and the ham steak actually had the little bone in it. It was delicious. I should have brought you the ham bone. Are you a ham bone girl? Let me see. What's going on here? What's going on here? I'll be right back. Let me see what's going on here. Alright, not sure what was going on there. Extra sneezy. Wash your face with a warm washcloth. And found a new something to chew on. An approved something to chew on. Where were we? Oh, we were on the last day of a grand adventure. Went to Buzz Cafe, had a delicious breakfast. And then the three of us drove north a few more exits to an antique mall. It was called The Barn. Antique and oddities, curiosities, antiques and curious, or something like that. It was a set up with individual booths. Oh, consignment. That's the word I was looking for. It's set up like a consignment. And each booth had their own collection of lovely things. I have between my kitchen and my dining room, I have a small partial wall that goes across the top. And I collect copper Jello molds. Not the silver ones. They have to be the copper ones. And in order to keep my collection from getting too far out of control, all the way across and across the other little short window, I collect from the sea. I have all different kinds of fish, new and old. The lighter pink are newer. The old reddish are older. And I have a huge variety. I will post a picture here. They are of the sea. I collect the fish, the lobsters. I have one with a seahorse on it. Because my men are fishermen, I wanted the water theme. So we have that. And then I have a hutch. And then the other half of my kitchen, the open kitchen area, hey, is, you're bumping into our friends. I have a few chickens, which really doesn't meet the of sea unless, chicken of the sea. Was that Jessica Simpson? I have some chickens because that's the wall that I keep things that I like. When we were at the antique mall, they had a set of 3, and it was these little strawberries. Oh, I wanted them so bad, but it did say set of 3, and I asked the lady at the front if they would consider breaking up the 3. We're doing this again? Breaking up the 3, and she said no, so I left them. It was a little more than I would want to spend. I usually pick them up for anywhere under $10. The reason I tell you this, I found a shell. I already have one of the shells on the longer part of the wall. This will go on the other side. I try not to duplicate what I have. I have such an extensive collection now that's becoming difficult, but I wanted I wanted it. I bought it. It was like $5. And I get to add to my collection. They also had across the register, a local individual is making these little sun catchers. If you look very close, you can see that it's actually a shower curtain, or a curtain rod, a round wooden curtain rod, and then you would attach the curtain hook to here. And she pours resin in there. Sweetheart, not in the face. Mamas don't like to catch sneezes to the face. You know, I didn't see anything going on with her. Hold on just a moment. Okay, I washed her face again with a warm washcloth and we did some water, and now she's laying down in the living room. I don't know, I'll have to take a closer look. Not to cut our visit short, this is a long visit. The family's calling. So she pours this resin in here, and this one had glitter, and they had it up high enough that the sunlight was catching it. I thought that would be a beautiful souvenir. I could hang that in any window. She's coming to check on me. And then we came on home. That was an incredible vacation. No worries, stress-free. My family, I'm sure they missed me, but I didn't get any like crazy text messages like, where do we keep the Band-Aids? It was a good weekend, and I'm really looking forward to visiting with my new friends again soon. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you've watched to the end, please leave me a comment in the comment box below and use the word notions. Notions. I would like to put all of the comments that comment notions on a piece of paper and pull one out of a hat, old-fashioned style, and send you a notions pouch. Yes, I made some notions pouches that I gifted to my new friends, and I made one extra, and I would love to share it with you. So in the comment box below, put the word notions. I would love to send you something. This is for the lower 48. You have to be over 18 to enter. I would appreciate it if you were a subscriber. Let's see, what else? Lower 48, 18. Please be a subscriber. Not necessary, much appreciated. And I will not contact the winner personally. I will make another video of the drawing and announce the winner, and then we'll take safety precautions from there. Please don't give anyone any of your personal information. This is not associated with YouTube. I have purchased these items on my own, and I would love to share them with you. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. Take care. Be good. Bye.